Oh.
Stand by to launch FanStream Sports.
3, 2, 1. Let's start.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to FanStream Sports. Nothing but pure sports. This is the JP Show.
JP, it's so good to hear you back on the air.
Stand by now. Here's JP.
All right, good morning and welcome into a Football Friday edition of the JP Peterson Show as the Buccaneers get set for a huge divisional game at New Orleans, 4 o'clock on Sunday. I like the 4 o'clock games. I like the 1 o'clock game. 4 o'clock games, though, are nice. We could get up in the morning, do a little something, watch the other games, maybe play a little golf. The weather's beautiful.
Dang.
So, 1 o'clock games is like you get up and it's like, all right, you got to get ready. You're ready. You're already out the door. So 4 o'clock lets you breathe a little bit. I like that. A little time to get lubed up for the fans. So we'll get into
early games here are at noon.
Yeah, I have the West Coast stuff. That sucks for
man. Yeah,
there's some people.
Early games like at 10 a.m. on the West Coast, man. I don't understand that.
Yeah, no good for me. Anyway, we got Bucs and Saints, and we got USF and Memphis. Huge weekend. FSU and Florida are off this weekend. Who's Miami got? I forgot to check that. Anyway, they need to win. They need to get back into it. So lots to get to in the football realm. Hockey last night. Boy, this Lightning team. Holy shit. I have not properly introduced you. IndyCarTim is here with the floppy hat today. He's got the floppy hat.
Got my new bucket hat.
Yeah, that's the one Ashley liked. That's not a bucket hat. That's a floppy hat.
Well, I know, but I ordered a bucket hat, and this is what I got, so I'm calling it a bucket hat.
That's not a bucket hat, though, is it? No, that's not a bucket hat.
Not really.
No, that's a floppy hat.
I've never heard of a floppy hat before, so I don't know that that's the technical term.
Guys, am I right? That's the floppy hat?
Never heard of a floppy hat before.
Never heard of a floppy hat? No, that's the floppy hat. And then, then we got we need some bucket hats, but Ashley likes the new floppy hat. So if you guys want to order one, well, the store will be up soon.
Got the long sleeve tees.
Yeah, I got the quarter zip on today.
Yep.
What the hell is this? The Victoria's Secret runway show? Yes, don't we look like it?
At least I'm not taking it off yet.
The latest models, anyway. All right, so we got hockey to talk about. We got college football to talk about. Jose Fernandez, our women's basketball coach, is going to Dallas to coach.
You gonna coach the Mavericks, man? I am all for him coaching the Mavericks.
Sorry,
please.
He's coaching. What are they called?
Who?
The Dallas WNBA team.
I didn't know we had one.
You didn't even know we had one?
No.
Well, you're getting a hell of a coach. I can tell you that.
What are they? Oh, they're ironically called the Wings.
The Wings.
I feel like that's not a good name for a female professional team for any sport.
What is the origin of Wings?
You got me? No clue.
The Detroit Wings.
They moved here. They moved here from another, like years ago, moved here from another city. I don't know where it was. Oh, like Oklahoma City or Fayetteville. I don't know where the hell it was, but that was just the name they adopted when they got here, the Dallas Wings. And I thought they folded years ago.
Yes.
I know, but I've been aware of them since Paige Beckers was drafted.
Yes.
And I've tried to follow her a little bit and maybe get into the team a little bit, but I can't ever find games or any box scores or anything anywhere. So I have no idea.
Yeah.
I didn't even know they needed a coach. Hell, I might have done it.
Yeah. Well, they got a good one now. That's for damn sure. We're going to miss him.
Is that an upgrade for him?
I don't know. I don't know.
It is.
I think he's been at USF, I think 26 years and has had tremendous success. Multiple, I think 12 or 13 tournaments. Really good. But between him and Ken Erickson, but I would say Jose's had the most conference championships of any coach. So I'd say he's the most successful coach at USF for quite a long time. He has been tremendous and has been among the top 25 consistently. So I think the WNBA, obviously, with Caitlin Clark, has taken a bit of a turn. Obviously, they're more popular, getting more television deals. They don't have to fly commercial anymore. So I think it has dramatically. increased in viewership, revenue. So yeah,
All right.
I think probably, and he's not an old man. He's still a young guy.
Yeah.
So he's in his early 50s, I believe. So just wanted to do something different, and we
old
wish him
age.
the best. He's going to be fantastic, and especially with working with Paige. Yeah. So I don't know what other talent they got on that squad, but
clearly they're not any good because they just, I guess if they're looking for a coach, you're not one of the top tier teams.
Yeah. No. So maybe they'll get another good draft pick. He'll add something, and off they go. But good luck to Jose. We'll miss you, partner. But sorry you have to move to Dallas instead of Tampa.
Hey, it's 67 degrees here this morning. It ain't bad right now.
It's like 72 here. It's beautiful. All right, and we got to get to the gambling situation in the NBA. And, yesterday we talked about some of the nuts and bolts of it. Reading through some of the charges, wow, that's some pretty salacious stuff. And
this is like movie stuff. Like they make movies about stuff like this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, how would you like to be one of these whales that is played in one of these private poker games? And I'm privy to these. I've never been to one. I know a lot of people that play in these big games and, big money dudes, and it's an adrenaline rush. And, for a lot of them, it's like, ooh, yeah, Chauncey Billups. And they love playing cards against, it's kind of a lot of the jock sniffer thing. And so what the mob would do was bring in these NBA stars and try to add credibility to the game. And evidently this Chauncey Billups game popped all around. As he went around the nation, they'd have different spots where the Chauncey Billups game would be. And it was a high roller game, and it was being run by the mafia. I mean, Chauncey Billups, honestly, the FBI is probably the least of his worries right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big money guys, especially people that play in those games, a lot of them are not, tech tycoons. You know what I'm saying? A lot of them are bad hombres. And they find out that they've been cheated by a systematic cheating system.
Out.
Ooh. Yeah, those people don't like to lose that money. And they do not like to be cheated. So those guys may have more problems than the FBI. But perhaps the most interesting thing that comes out of this, as it always is, and we're going to get to the Bucs needs, don't worry. Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, my God.
I don't know if you have that, if you can get that little rant. I should have come in prepared for that, but you've all seen it, where he's like, Trump is coming. Trump is coming. Trump is coming for the WNBA. He's coming. He's coming for the NBA. This is all what it's all about. The Bad Bunny at the Super Bowl. ICE is going to be there. Mass deportations. Dude, what the fuck are you talking about? What kind of race-baiting bullcrap is this? I always say unbelievable, but everything is believable these days. I thought Stephen A. Smith was better than this.
I'm about to have it, so we can.
I thought he was way better than this. So the sport that you covered gets his pants pulled down. And somebody on Twitter made a great point, and I'm going to give them credit, as a matter of fact, is remember back in the day when there was kind of these complicated stories that involved law enforcement and sports and crossed over, and you turn on ESPN, and what would you see? You see Bob Lee, Jeremy Schaap, Roger Cossack. They'd be bringing in, Alan Dershowitz to break it down legally. Now ESPN sends out their race baiter in chief and turns it into a Trump versus the NBA and WNBA, which we know is nothing more than a divisive racial trope. It's exactly what it is. Stephen A. setting himself up as the man of the people to go run against Trump. And this is what you're going with? You may have just killed your candidacy with this stupid ass stunt. Because it's to act like this is an investigation, by the way, that Trump didn't start. This thing's been going on for a long time. And if you're paying attention, Stephen, there's a lot more white people being arrested here than black people.
You want to hear it?
Yeah. In case you missed it.
times, for one incident after another, have I said Trump is coming? He's coming. I'm going to say it on national television again. Bad Bunny is performing at the Super Bowl, and all of a sudden you hearing ICE is going to be there.
That's right. ICE is going to be at the Super
engage
Bowl.
in mass deportation.
Mass deportation at the Super Bowl, right?
Disrupting things.
Yeah.
Big night for the NBA. Wembanyama put on a show. That has now been smeared.
Your league's
because
a fraud.
We're talking about
Don't talk about
this
that.
story. Okay. Remember, Trump has a long, long history connected to the world.
Let's get Trump
of
out here.
because
Let's put Trump
he
in
had
the middle
those
of this so
casinos.
we
Where
can
do you
get the
think folks were
focus
coming
off
at
what's
the
going
time?
on in this
I'm not
corrupt
talking
league.
about individuals. I'm talking about the culture. When people want to go to a casino, when people want to gamble, when people want to party, or whatever the case may be, this was his kind of connection to that. Why am I glad you're here, Monica? Because don't be surprised if the WNBA is next on his list. Because when you got all of these protests that have been going out there and people that have been protesting against him and what have
they've been protesting against
this
Trump.
man is coming. He's coming. And I've been saying it for a long time.
Saturday Night Live.
And to me, this is the latest
field day
nugget
with
of
this.
evidence
Back in the
that
day.
we're talking
He's
about
coming.
right here. That's not to question the legitimacy of the case. We don't know. We're all sitting up here and we're saying that we don't know.
I mean, I'm pretty sure we know a little bit.
That has been around him, anybody that has talked to him, anybody that has seen
It's all
his
about
reactions
retribution,
from the
revenge,
sports leagues
right?
and the
Has nothing to do
positions
with
that
what the
people have
people did
taken,
and holding
they are
people
not
accountable.
surprised at what's going on today. I'm watching a press conference with the director of the FBI. Tell me when we've seen that.
Every time there's a big bust. I mean, every time when the mafia families are involved.
You don't see the director of the FBI having a press conference.
Yeah,
it's
you
not
do.
coincidental.
That's his job.
It's not an accident. It's a statement. And it's a warning that more is coming.
More
and
is
that's
coming.
what they're saying.
They're coming
here.
for
And
all the
everybody-
black
I'm
and
just
brown
telling
people,
you.
right, Stephen A?
It's
Yes,
as
all
serious
the
as it
Gestapo.
gets. This ain't the platform for
I can't anymore. You know, maybe
it's
if people wouldn't
divisive.
break the law, we wouldn't have to go arrest them.
It's so divisive. Yeah, there you go. You know, let's not talk about what they did. Let's not talk about, you know, how this brings the. You just had a head coach and one of the highest paid players in the league arrested, taken away in handcuffs because of their very questionable gambling attachments and actions. By the way, did you see some of the video of Rozier playing in some of these games?
Yeah, I've seen that for a long time. That
one
has been out
game?
there for a long time. People questioning his
There's like 7 air balls in one game.
and passes
Just throwing the
directly
ball to the other
opposing
team.
team.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that footage has been out there for a long time,
Yeah.
and people have been questioning him for a while.
For a dude that makes $25 million a year, that's $360,000 a game. You're betting $200,000 on the under?
How can anybody live on that?
Dude, that math ain't mathin'. What kind of moron does that? I'm going to risk my $26 million a year job for $200,000? That means, you know what that tells me? He was in deep. He was in deep. And he owed a lot of money to do something that stupid. Or maybe he's just a moron. I don't know. I mean, but to me, the fact that you go out and you want to do this divisive race baiting stuff and try to deflect, how just this, and this is what ESPN has become. I hate it. There's a lot of people at ESPN I love, but this is what they have promoted forever. And there's not a conservative voice anywhere on the entire channel, and hasn't been for a decade or maybe 5 years since they fired Sage Steele and Sam Ponder and everybody else. David Pollack, bye-bye. But it's just, I mean, when you have, I don't want to get too deep into this, but this type of stuff is inflammatory because a lot of people listen to Stephen A. Smith and they trust him, and they you know, he is a very high profile. I don't want to say highly credible at this point. I've always been a Stephen A. Smith fan. He's not really, you know, it seems like in the last year, 2 years or so, he's turning much more political. But this was above and beyond. And the rhetoric that just keeps coming out, he's coming for you. Like this is inflammatory, and it's dangerous speech. It's dangerous speech. That type of stuff is dangerous. That's not what's happening here. And I'm not here to defend Trump, but I'm here to defend that you don't do shit like this. It's inflammatory and dangerous. And that's part of the reason we have all the division that we have. Look, you want to say, hey, man, there might be a little bit more to this in terms of what, the meaning behind it. But to go all hyperbolic, he's coming for you. Like somebody's going to be in this, whole thing with ICE that's going on. A lot of the optics are not good. I mean, and there are things that happen that I don't like and a lot of people don't like. But we all know why a lot of this is going on. It's because how many millions of people came across the border for the last 4 years. You got to do something at some point. And it's not going to look perfect. That's for damn sure. And it's a mess. But this type of stuff doesn't help it. And to let it bleed over into sports, come on now. It's ridiculous. All right, let's get back to football. Bucs and Saints coming up on Sunday. And I don't know if you're noticing this, Timothy, but a lot of people are pointing to this game as their upset special of the week. And I can see why. Yeah. The Bucs are beat up. The Saints have been better. Their metrics are better than their 1-6 record. They got down 20-0 to the Bears last week, and Rattler threw 3 picks. But, they've got some weapons in Rashid Shaheed, Chris Olave. Spencer Rattler's been, playing a little bit better. They've lost a lot of one-score games. They're not a terrible team, and they're waiting on the Bucs. You know that. That's why I said yesterday, Baker's retort on how much he hates the Saints and doing it from the podium, I thought it was a stroke of genius. I don't know if he did it on purpose, but this is going to galvanize the Buccaneers to get their best in terms of intensity. Turn this into a street fight and let everybody know that's what it's going to be. And they're going to obviously go with, if Baker the Bold is out front, Big Balls Baker is out front, his boys are going to come with him. So he's putting himself out there as almost a target, and the Saints fans are taking the bait. And I think this is genius because the only way the Bucs go in there and lose is if they're flat, and this guarantees you won't be flat. This guarantees it. He said, he's not running away from it, and he's saying, "Come on, boys, we're not, this is the week. Don't try to glide into your bye week and just go, think you're going to walk out there against a 1-6 team and just throw your helmet out there and going to win. That's not the way this is going to go down." But sometimes even knowing that, it's hard to get up for the game. Baker assured himself and his team that their ass is going to be on fire. And if they match the intensity of the Saints, they should win the game. The only way they lose it is if the Saints get the crowd going, get a couple of big plays early, and the Bucs have been giving up big plays. They got to stop that shit. And that place starts going nuts, and then, Lord knows what's going to happen with the officiating, and it can just snowball on you, kind of like it did in Detroit. So don't let that happen. And I hope they, and I think Josh Grizzard learned a great lesson last week that you can't abandon the run, especially against a team like this. You can run on the Saints. And we did, was it last year when Tucker was the offensive player of the week?
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they can run on these guys. Rashad White can run on them. Let's just keep the pedal down, get this offensive line fired up, and see what happens. I mean, you guys know what the injury situation, no Godwin, no Bucky, no Hassan Reddick, which now Anthony Nelson has to step up, and that means, the guy who plays every special team snap is going to have to – somebody else is going to have to come in and do that. And if you've been watching special teams, Anthony Nelson makes almost every tackle.
Yeah.
He makes a lot of special teams tackles. So that's not a nothing. That's not a nothing. Somebody's got to come in there and make
on the regular plays instead of on special teams.
Right. So, and then, and Chris Braswell has to step up, and that doesn't fill me with a whole lot of confidence, quite frankly. But for Bowles, he's got to find a way to manufacture some pass rush, and nobody's better at that than he is, quite frankly. The Bucs have been, from a numeric standpoint, they've been really, really good since he got here. And among the top fives in pressures and sack fumbles, they lead since 2019 in the league. So they manufacture it, even though they don't have big numbers coming off the edge. And they manufacture the pass rush, and they're going to have to get that done this week. Rattler, I think, took 4 stacks last week through 3 interceptions. I mean, this offensive line is not good. The way to win this game is to pressure him into mistakes, don't give up big plays, and beat them down defensively. You should be able to contain this offense and run the ball. I'd like a nice little tidy 24-13 win. Be just fine with me. Run the ball, get some explosives where you can. Looks like Ibuka's going to play. So we don't know if he's 100%. He certainly wasn't last week. He gutted that one out. Tez's got to step up. Cam Johnson's got to step up. And, Kate Otten's got to step up. But lean on Rashad White, lean on Sean Tucker, and see what you can get done in the run game. Josh Queipo is going to join us a little bit later. We taped this yesterday. A little tease. There's a move on the offensive line that we might like to see. So you'll have to stick around till 11:30 to hear that. So anyway, that's kind of how I see this game shaping up. McCoy, their center, looks like he's not going to play this week. That's a big loss for them. So again, lines of scrimmage, I think the Bucs have an advantage. Now, I mentioned this yesterday, and the Saints have I think the strength of their defense, Werner and DeMario Davis in the middle. Those 2 linebackers are really, really smart guys. And I think you saw Barnes spying on Baker last week. I think you're going to see the same thing this week from the Saints. So the Bucs are going to have to figure out how they're going to handle that, how they're going to attack a defense that's going to spy on Baker. Because I think we're going to see this for a lot because it worked. It worked really well. It made him really, really uncomfortable. So this is by no means a gimme. A lot of the smart money is going down on the Saints to win this game. So 4:00, they better freaking bring their best. They better freaking bring their best. That's all I'm saying.
I don't see any possible way the Saints right now can hang with the Bucs. Like, I know it's a division game and anything can happen, but aside from that, if you're just looking on paper, dude, they may not have Olave. They may not have Kamara. They're banged up on the offensive line, and you have Spencer Rattler as your
No, I think Kamara is going to play, and Olave, aren't they? Both going to play.
I don't know. Olave didn't practice on Wednesday. He was limited yesterday. Kamara's been limited all week. They both have ankle injuries.
Yeah, I'm hearing they're going to play though.
Okay, even if they play, are they 100%? I mean, I'll take a 70% Kamara. I mean, Olave's really done nothing anyway, even at 100%. Rattler can't get him the ball. I don't understand why the Saints are still playing Rattler. Find out what you've got in Tyler Shuck. Rattler,
I think it's because he's not playing terrible. I mean, he's keeping them in games, except last week.
Do you care about that right now?
No, but Kellen Moore may not think Tyler Shuck's ready. And why would you speed him up if, I think this is a mistake a lot of organizations do. He may feel like this offensive line is going to get Tyler Shuck killed because he's not as mobile as Spencer Rattler. And the best way to screw up a quarterback is to get his confidence shook his confidence. That's the best way to do it, was get him looking at the rush. Sometimes you never recover from that. So I think they're probably smart to wait until he feels like they can put him in a positive situation. And that's not right now. So we shall see.
Yep.
A couple of quick comments from the peeps here. Good morning to you, Rick. So when people like Stephen A. yell like that, it's him trying to protect himself or others involved. He now say he has a target on him. Yeah, and so when they come after him, he'll be like, see, I told you they were going to target me. Rick says, sounds like Steven's been to a few poker games. Oh,
there's no question, right?
Oh, you think he played in a few of the Chauncey Billups games?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, if I were him, I'd be pissed off. Or maybe he's got some, it's a classic deflection. But to do it the way he did. Rick also says they have text messages from over 5 years ago showing their involvement with gambling.
Not a good look.
No. Ryan H says it shouldn't be, but this has become a must-win game for the Bucs. It's far from a must-win. It's far from a must-win, but I get it what you're saying. It's an important game. I mean, you get to the bye at 6-2, you're starting to think, okay, I can get the number 1 seed. We're going to get healthy. We're going to get better. And everybody's pointing to the Bucs 7-point differential, and I get it. It's not like they're dominating teams, but if you know the nuance of this, all the injuries, to be 5-2, it shows you're a good football team. You got a hell of a quarterback. So we can project. The JP Peterson show is projecting that in the second half of this season, the Bucs got a chance to go on a run, to get healthy and go on a run. But every game counts. When you're talking about getting the number 1 seed, obviously every game counts. And you do not want to drop one to it. And I'm not saying it's not a winnable game, to your point. You should go in there and win the game. If you're an elite team, you should go in there and win this football game, 100%. That's why I said this is kind of an elite check. Are you elite? If you're elite, you do what the 49ers do. You're banged up, but you're going to go in there. You're going to outcoach them. You're going to outwork them. You're going to outplay them. And you're going to beat them. That's what you do. If you're not an elite team, you go in there and you play with your food and you dick around. You leave them in the game and you get 2 bad calls at the end and you walk out of there with your tail between your legs. That's what average teams do. That's what teams that sneak into the playoffs do. You want to be an elite team like you claimed you were in the offseason before you had 18 guys on the injured list, by the way, which is what they have this week. But if you claim you're an elite team, this is what Baker said and Levante said and the captain said, and they believe it, and I think they've showed it to a point this year. Absolutely, they can be. Then you go take care of business this week. It's one of those games. You're the better team. You're the better roster. Don't get beat because you weren't emotionally ready to meet the moment in a division game on the road. Go in there, put your foot down, be physical in the run game, punch them in the mouth, make them quit because they'll quit if you hit them hard enough, and take care of business. It's an elite check, a gut check, elite check. Are you elite? Show me. Go take care of this team.
JP, after we talk to Bobby the Chief Taylor here coming up after the break, maybe before Scott Carter or after Scott Carter, I don't know, at some point, I've got some NFC South hypotheticals for you.
Okay.
But I want to discuss some scenarios here for the NFC South.
We shall do so.
That may put some perspective into this game.
Okay. I like that. All right, we'll take a break and we'll come back and we'll chat with the Chief, Bobby the Chief Taylor, about this Lightning game last night. But with that final goal, 53 seconds left. Cooch, what are we doing?
Ouch.
What are we doing, Kucherov? Woo! He's a -8 on the year. That's shocking. Shocking development. We are brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group, JEEVES lawgroup.com. We'll bring you the Gator Report, which we will hear a little bit later on. They are local, they are trusted, and they get results. So give them a call. Get your free case evaluation at jeeveslawgroup.com. Non-attorney spokesman, offices Tampa and St. Pete. And by Genesis of Tampa, they are doing a new car deal. If you get a new car at Genesis of Tampa, you do not have to make any more payments until 2026. How about that? So you get your 2 payments free at this point, and you can use that for Christmas shopping. Genesis of Tampa, go take a look at this incredible cars. The GV80 SUV is absolutely best in class. No question about it, and the value is tremendous. Genesis of Tampa, a great local dealership of the Murphy Auto Group. Mike Murphy, your owner, also a new investor in the Rays as well. So Genesis of Tampa. It's a great group of folks over there. Go see them. Tell them JP sent you. Back in 3 with the Chief. Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. JP here for Riveters, our new official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. And just like our show, no BS, no corporate chain feel, just amazing, authentic folks serving great comfort food in a casual atmosphere at unheard of prices. Riveters is located just south of Raymond James and Steinbrenner Field on Dale Mabry, walking distance to the park. So free parking, great place for pregame and postgame. Let's talk about fresh food. Nothing is frozen. Burgers, wings, prime rib, roasted fresh daily, never frozen. That makes a huge difference. The mahi, the salmon, also super fresh. All our sauces are original recipes made in-house. Our Warhawk chili and fully loaded potato soup is made fresh in-house. It's the best food anywhere, served by people who actually care. Riveters on Dale Mabry, just north of 275, just south of where the Bucs and Rays play. We'll see you there. Are you looking to renovate your home, rebuild after the hurricanes, or build your dream home from scratch? Well, let me tell you about my friend Jason Fawcett and On-Site Construction. They have over 1,450 satisfied clients, 25 years of experience, over 500 designs, and a talented team of over 40 construction professionals. They believe building something exceptional begins by truly focusing on all the details, even the smallest ones. We understand that construction can be a daunting process, and we're here to make it as smooth and stress-free as possible. Quality is non-negotiable at On-Site Construction. We use the finest materials, employ the most skilled tradespeople, and adhere to the highest industry standards to deliver a product we're proud of and that you're going to love. Our project management is meticulous with a focus on completing projects on time and on budget. Your happiness is our primary driver. So give us a call at 813-579-5789 or check out our incredible website at onsiteconstructionfl.com. Are you having legal issues with a business partner or other legal business issues? The attorneys at Walters, Levine & DeGrave can help. Call 800-616-0384 for a free consultation. At Walters, Levine & DeGrave, we've redefined what a law firm can be with top-tier attorneys, personal service, and 26 years of success. From business law to civil litigation, we deliver smart, client-focused solutions. Walters, Levine & DeGrave recently won a $6.4 million jury verdict from a large real estate developer, and they can win for you too. Walters, Levine & DeGrave. Let's solve it together. Not attorney spokesman. For a free consultation, call 800-616-0384 or go to walterslevine.com. Offices Tampa, Sarasota.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Riveters, the official bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. Have I mentioned how good their burgers are? The Big O and I went over there
one
a couple
time
weeks
ever,
ago, and we both were like, "Oh, let's get a burger. We got to get a burger." Fantastic. They use all fresh ingredients, never frozen. Prime rib meat, sirloin meat, like really, really good stuff. High quality food. By the way, Riveters also owns Boda, which is across the street on Dale Mabry. If you like fast Mexican casual, they have a lunch special, 3 tacos for $12, and they're not small tacos, and the ingredients are so incredibly fresh. So if you're looking for a great meal today, Riveters, Tampa, of course, watching all the sports this weekend, you got to be at Riveters. And of course, if you want some fast casual Mexican, Boda, right across the street. Really, really good. So check those out. Oh, JP sent you. Yeah, I got the shrimp taco, the carne asada, the steak taco, and the chicken taco. Ooh, Lordy.
Getting hungry now.
That was really, 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 really good. All right, we got the Chief on.
We got the Chief.
Bobby the Chief Taylor joining us now, Stanley Cup champion, longtime Lightning analyst, and my best buddy on the postgame show, which, man, did we have a crowd last night, Bobby, for the postgame show? Woo!
Yeah, I know.
Huge.
It was incredible. Yeah, and a lot of people were kind of looking around because, I think, they try to they show up through the pub there.
Yeah.
And we come in and out, and everybody was kind of puzzled when they kept looking. They'd walk in and they see us all sitting in a row there,
like a firing squad. Yeah.
Yeah, excuse me. Or it's like maybe the Yankees are bringing back Murderers Row.
I definitely don't think that was what it looked like. All right, I tell you what it looked like on the ice, Chief. Not so good. I mean, when you look at this start, what are we 1-4-3 now? One game. Vasi still hasn't won a game. He had never lost to the Blackhawks until last night. Gave up one softie, and the last goal certainly wasn't on him. I'd have to put that one on Kucherov. What are your overall thoughts on this start so far? What's going wrong with the Bolts?
Well, I mean, I thought last night was one of their better games. I mean, they were, they were engaged in it. They were forcing play throughout the game. What's really hurting them is that the big guys aren't scoring when you need them, and and it's like now it's not every mistake, but some mistakes are costing them. I mean, like the one that was a great shot, from Donato, but it was short side, and that we usually don't. That's like playing catch in his backyard for him usually.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, everybody's kind of not. Is their mistakes are hurting is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
And before, we used to cover up quite a bit of it, like now, but at this point of the season, I mean, it's early. I understand that, but like we talked last night, JP, you can't get too far behind because you have to jump over too many teams to try to get back up into the race.
Yeah, and it seems like I don't want to say it's an effort thing, but it's certainly, and I thought their effort was pretty good last night, but it does seem like they're getting outworked. I know they got did some high intensity practices this week, and I think they were better last night in terms of winning some battles. But I think overall this year, it just kind of looks like, still the Lightning still have a target on their back. They get the best from every team they play. And if they don't meet that intensity, in the old days, it kind of felt like their talent would make up for it. But to your point, I mean, Cooch is a -8. Braden Point is a -8. Hagel's a -5. I mean, when have we ever seen numbers like this from our big guys?
Yeah, exactly. And one of the main reasons is because they're not scoring like they were in the past either.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. I mean, it's really hard. It's such an intangible thing, but I think right now, offense has always come just naturally to the team over the last few years, and right now, it's like they're expecting it to come, and now that they're missing the net on shots, the shots are not going, like Cooch had 3 really good chances, but his shot was low, and usually he's in the top part of the net all the time. And, so that's a little bit of a difference right there, and I think, sometimes, like I know that in Detroit, that game against Detroit, their goaltender played really, really well. He did, and always the X factor in anything, it's you can play your best game, you can have air shots, and that guy between the pipes is the big difference maker. If he's on it, that's, you can't overcome that. Sometimes that happens, but for me, last night was a better effort. It was almost like seeing them getting back. They're getting back to where they're using their speed, using their skill set to get the puck and keep it in the other end of that. And I think teams are really kind of shutting them down because, we talked about last night too, is that, how everybody drops their guys back to the top of the circle or those hash marks there.
Yeah.
teams are moving out now, and they're kind of taking away our points as much as possible. So it's making it where the defense have to make the play quicker, and also you got to make sure that they get the puck through, because they're really kind of pressuring them into making their decisions faster and making making them do it in a more efficient manner. Like, you can't make a bad pass there because they'll go the other way, and it's an odd man rush all the time. So those little things like that they have to just adjust to. And I think, and before they didn't have to, but now everybody's starting to figure out how to play them, and they're going to have to make the adjustment to get past that.
Bobby the Chief Taylor joining us here. Post game last night, John Cooper said this, Chief. I want you to react to this comment. He said, just because you've done it before, it doesn't mean you're going to do it again. You have to understand what it took and what it takes to do it again. To me, it kind of sounds like Cooper saying, we're not playing or understanding the effort level, intensity level it takes to win every night in the NHL. We've kind of forgotten that. What do you take from that quote?
I think that's right on the money. I mean, it's that might be the strongest way of criticism that John will ever use, because, Brian England was saying that last night, and he's right. Most coaches will jump on you when you're playing, when you're winning. When you're losing, guys feel terrible about it. So you can't really go after them too much, because then, they're already beaten down because of the losses. You don't want to beat them down even more,
Right.
And like we said, I've never been able to understand this, and I've been through it and everything, but, confidence is such a fragile thing in sport, especially in ours. We got some great players, Hall of Fame players, and yet if they're not scoring, they're wondering, oh my gosh, I mean, am I ever going to do this again? Or and your confidence level drops, and that's that's something you have to bring back up. That's an individual thing, and but Cooper's right. He said, just because you've been there before, done that, you can't just automatically assume that you're going to be doing it, because other teams are going to match your intensity. And they're now, these teams that have been bottom feeders for a while, they've been drafting high and they're getting some really good players.
Yeah.
And Chicago was a former champion team, in the early days, and now they kind of went south for a while because the cap makes it, you have to change players. You have to move them, that even though you don't want to, because you got to keep yourself under the cap. Now they're getting their young players back there. They're getting to be a pretty good team, but it's taken a long time. So the teams are matching you now. Everybody wants to knock off the champion, everyone. And, the Lightning have been in one of the elite teams in the league for about the last 8-9 years, maybe.
Right.
And now you've got to start matching that intensity and that skill level with the teams that come up against you, because they're playing their best. Like you said earlier, every team is wanting to beat the Lightning, and because they're one of the best teams for a long time.
Chief Taylor joining us here.
Last year, Chief, when we were watching the Lightning all year, my mantra was kind of like, score 3 goals, you win the game. And that was that was true for the most part for them last year. When you look at how they started the season, you got there in the first 2 games, both losses to Ottawa and to New Jersey, and then you score 4 in the win against Boston. In this 4-game losing streak, they've scored 2, 1, 2, and 2. So how much of this lack of scoring right now is just kind of it's rust to start the season, and how much of this should concern us?
Well, I mean, they got too much talent. There's guys that are really struggling, like Hagel's really struggling, Point's really struggling. Cooch is out for 2 games, and he had chances last night. I mean, he made some great passes, as we know in that, but he had like 3 really good scoring chances, and like I said, his shot was low instead of higher. So, that's going to come. But I think a lot of it is because of the fact that we would outscore our mistakes. So now we're only getting 1 or 2 goals. So the one mistakes, they get the goal, like the winning goal, or even the tying goal. That's even more
Yeah.
emphatic. That, we would have come back and scored, but we haven't done that. And that tying goal, because it was a mistake by the goaltender, then you're going to, we couldn't erase it. We couldn't come back and erase it. And that's what's happening, I think, in these first 7 games, is the fact that because we're not scoring at the way we are, we have to be a little bit more diligent defensively, in my mind.
Yeah. Oh, I agree 100%. But, and the scoring will come. I mean, these guys are too good for it not to happen. I mean, you can't just go out on the ice and skate around and think it's going to come. They got to work it, but they know how to do it. And I feel like that's if it were something else, I'd be worried. But the fact that we're not scoring right now and we're getting chances. We got more shots last night, 31 shots, which I think was one of the first times we've outshot our opponents. So we're getting more shots. So I think it's all heading in the right direction. And to Chief's point, it's confidence. Confidence is and Brian said that last night, Chief, right? It's just, you get 1 or 2 to go in, it loosens you up a little bit, and now you're playing a little bit more free, and it turns into a bunch of goals. So I think it's coming, right? I don't think we're to the point where we got to be worried.
No, we're not. And I think what why we're it sounds like we're all really worried, but it's because we haven't seen this for a while.
Right.
And in the first 5 games, our shot totals were just unbelievably low.
Yeah, that was bad.
For 40 minutes of play. I remember for 4 out of the 5 games, our shot totals after 2 periods were like 8, 11, 9, and 10. And
that concerned me.
That's a concern right there. But you see, that was the thing, like, we can do this again. And that's what I think Coop was alluding to, is the fact that just because you were able to do it and it came easier before, you got to work harder now, because the other team against you is working hard. They're playing at the top level that they can play. So you've got to match that level.
Yeah. One of our callers, Chief, said this, and I think you'll be able to kind of associate with this. He said, JP, you know this, when you get older, you use all your energy to score in the first period. Usually it's early. You're lucky to still be around in the third period. I get it. No question about it. But there is a narrative out there, Chief, that this team is old and slow. And at times it does look old and slow. On that last goal last night, Hedman and Kucherov just did not get back and recognize where the threat was coming from, and especially Kucherov. He turns it over and then kind of, really didn't hustle back to cover Donato there. He was on his side. So I don't know. Kucherov's a Hall of Famer, but that's got to be something that he's not going to be very proud of, and Coop's not going to be very happy with.
Well, and also it's a fact too, they've relied on Bassey so often, and if he isn't at a superb game right there, then you're going to see it. But a lot of it, Cooch was upset because he missed the shot and missed the play that he wanted to get. So he was kind of, I wouldn't say pouting, but you're not getting back. And he says, "Oh well, Bassey will bail me out." Well, he's done it on occasion. Don't get me wrong, but not like he's been consistently done it over the first 2 games. And I think that this team, in my estimation, JP, has always been a pretty good self-analyzing group of guys.
Yes.
And, and the finger doesn't go pointing around the room, but the finger goes pointing at the chest of the guy that's talking. And I think that that's what's going to help. They are pretty good at self-analyzing and, saying, listen, we just got to get our head out of our butts and get going and play. And, and I thought last night was a lot better. They started the game for that, better, before they sort of been easing into the game and see what the other team is going to do so we can match that. Well, no.
I like their start.
What you do is and what you're supposed to do is go out and let the other team try to adjust to your start.
All right, Chief, we got the Ducks coming in, and then we got Vegas, 2 5:00 games Saturday and Sunday. They got that Sunday game, obviously, with Vegas. I know they got some guys hurt, but that'll be a tough one. They really need to get this game against Anaheim, who scored 7 goals last night, and they're 4-2-1. So they're playing a little bit better. And so there's no let up for this Lightning team. What do you think about this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, offense comes easily to teams. It really does, because that's the way the game is played. And most of the guys that get this far in the step ladder to the big team are really high draft picks, or guys that have been all pretty good offensively. And the best teams is that those offensive guys, when they were coming up through juniors and minor leagues and all that, have learned how to play defense. So even the so-called checkers can score on you. And this is what's happening. Anaheim's in a rebuilding mode. They've gotten some, they're getting some high draft picks, so they're waiting for them to get accustomed to this. Mm-hmm. And there's no easy mark anymore. If you're not trying to play a hard and fast game, and if you want to just ease yourself into the games and then try to make a comeback, it ain't going to happen. It ain't going to work all the time, and we've seen it. And I think that's what they just have to start. Let's go, boys. It's time for us to really get going.
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
can't just say, okay, this part. Yeah, we have to play 100%. You can't play 70% in this league. I don't care if it's the first game or it's the 80th game. You got to be at your best, and it's hard sometimes. Usually it's around February where you see guys kind of dragging, because it's the doldrums. You're in the last 20, 25 games, and you want it to get over, and it gets repetitive after a while. But
yeah, of course,
you don't think I don't see the urgency in the game has to begin right away, and I know it's only 7 games, but the urgency has to be there right at the start to get going, so that when you do have the bad days in February, you've got a cushion.
Right. Yeah. They're eating up their cushion right now. All right, Chief, I'll see you on Saturday and Sunday. And remember, for us old guys, always try to score in the first period. That's right.
Exactly.
Don't wait till the third. You might be asleep.
I know. Yeah. Play on the engine. Don't worry. Don't try to come back when you're on the caboose.
That's right. All right, Chief. Thanks, partner. Appreciate it.
All right, take care.
I forgot I was going to add, last night he made a funny joke, Chief did. And he recalled about, the red light going off behind you, and I had a sunburn on my neck of all the goals he gave up, because I put Noxzema on it. I was like, hey, Chief, I don't know anybody out there in our audience besides you and me and maybe Ingy who know what the hell Noxzema is. Noxzema.
That's up there with a Brill cream reference.
Yeah, that's right. Noxzema. That's what that is. Your mom put on her face, the white stuff. She'd come out in the middle of the night, and you'd be like, what the hell's that?
Wow.
My Noxzema.
That's
my
Noxzema.
Funny. Oh, my God. All right. Some hockey-related comments from the Petermans. John Hill says Nikita Kucherov had diarrhea, which caused him to be out 2 games, and his handling of the puck with 2 minutes to go was shitty. Thank you for that contribution, John. We've already taken this show into the sewer.
Yep.
John also said he rode the elevator with Brian Bradley last night after the game and reminded him of the 8-goal prediction that he made on the show. Protect the puck and shoot the puck. Yes.
I wasn't going to bring that up, but since John did.
It cost me money, bitch.
Well, it's on you.
Yeah. Listen to Bradley. John Hill says Vasi has developed knee issues, which is impacting his goaltending. I had not heard that. John Hill's got the inside scoop, though. I'll tell you that. Vasi. I think Vasi's been good. I think he's been pretty good. Last night, that was a softie. But the game-winning goal, he made a great save on the breakaway, and then there's nobody there for the wide-open net rebound. I mean, that was piss poor by Kucherov.
What's the rule, JP? You never allow a goal in the first or last minute of a period.
That's the point. It's like there's 50 seconds left in a tie game, and Kucherov just takes the puck right into 2 defenders, like just skates it right into him. And not necessarily at the blue line, but towards the blue line.
Yeah.
And then Hedman's trying to get back, and that's slow. And then Donato's coming up the side where he was about even with Kucherov. Kucherov just didn't skate hard to get back. And I mean, that just can't happen. I understand you're a Hall of Famer, but if you give up the puck like that with a minute to go, geez, oh, Pete, you got to get back. And we've seen this 3 times. I think the late in the game, they're giving up goals around their net. Was it the Ottawa game where the game winner with 148 left? It's like there's 3 Senators in the crease and 1 Lightning player with 2 minutes left in a tie game. I mean, you got to defend your net with a little bit more vigor than that in that situation. And you can't be taking chances so late in the game, especially when you need every point. That's not a time to be aggressive offensively in a tie game in the 3rd period with a minute to go. That's not the time to be trying to, and Kucherov knows this, but it just happens too often. And it can be a little mind-numbing. Michael LaRue says there's always a possibility when you lock up most of your championship core to long-term deals. Players with multiple rings can lose that hunger to be great. Good is the enemy of great. Spot on. And that's exactly what Cooper was talking about. They've forgotten what it takes to be great. And they're not meeting that standard. And they got to step it up. And, it could be just when the shot totals were that low earlier in the season, I think it was more evident. Last night, I thought it was better. I think they outshot them 31-26. And it's not always about shot. It's not always about plus minus. I get that. But we can only, use so many stats to kind of back up what we're seeing. And I think those statistics certainly back up what we're seeing. Michael LaRue also says JBB, Julien Brisebois, has done his best to move on from high salary players, but the lack of draft picks to build a pipeline of prospects has hurt the roster and created an environment with little competition for jobs. It's a good point. But it's not like Hagel, Cirelli, Kucherov, Point. It's not like they're coming to training camp, afraid of losing their job. But the 3 first-round exits, to me, you got 2 things working here. You got most of the core has 2 Stanley Cup rings. Yeah. So that hunger, and some people will say, look, it's once you get one, you're always hungry for the next. For some people, that's that way. But these guys have also been first round exited for 3 years running. And it's almost like the regular season, nothing's going to matter until we get to the playoffs anyway. So how do I wrap my mind around that, going at it and getting that intensity level? That's the battle. And I understand it. It ain't easy. It's not easy. It's hard to sustain greatness in any sport for a long period of time at the same group. It's really, really difficult. It takes an extremely competitive person with an uber competitive spirit like Tom Brady. You have to be maniacal about losing. And I don't necessarily see that kind of leadership on this team right now. And I think they miss Stamkos' leadership. I really do. I don't think they miss him on the ice. Gensel's been fantastic. But from a leadership standpoint, I think they miss him. And I don't know how you rectify that, quite frankly. I don't have those answers.
Time,
or, you may have to shake it up a little bit.
Yeah.
You may have to shake it up and bring in someone, the Dave Andrechuk that they brought in for the original, those guys were, that they needed some structure and a guy like that to push them. And it worked. Maybe that's what they need. All right, let's switch gears here and talk a little Gator football. The Gator Football Report brought to you by the Jeeves Law Group. We welcome in our good friend Scott Carter from FloridaGators.com. What's up, Scotty? How are you, my friend?
JP, how you doing, man? Just another week up here in Gainesville. Typical week,
I bet clicks are up. I bet clicks. Nothing like a coaching search to be good for business on the website, right?
I tell you, man, coaching search is nothing quite like a college football coaching search because unlike the pros, there's just a lot more voices in the forest, and man, you hear everything, which it's humorous, but at the same time, it gets old long before the coach ever gets hired.
Hey, so what's the craziest thing you've heard in a coaching search or done in a coaching search to find? So I've done some crazy things. I've made some crazy calls Because you never know where you're going to find information when it comes to this, right?
No, you're right, man. I mean, gosh, there's so many. I mean, as far as me personally, I mean, I've done the old stakeout back in the day here and there. I know the plane, tracking the planes became a thing in the Zook era. That was when I was not here, but so it's just gotten worse with social media because everybody has a voice, right? So if your grandma.
I saw something yesterday on social media. Somebody took a picture of Gus Malzahn and his wife eating at a restaurant in Little Rock or someplace in Arkansas. And he's got dudes in mid-bite, and somebody's taking a picture. He's just with his wife. They're in a little booth, and there's people taking pictures of you while you're having lunch. It's like, it's Gus Malzahn, for God's sakes.
That's
like,
funny,
he's a hot name.
Yeah, he's always going to be a hot name. Yeah, have you guys watched that Cowboys documentary on Netflix?
Yeah.
It's like they have that funny segment where Jerry Jones, who was unknown, he was not a media guy, but when he wanted to hire Jimmy Johnson, they went to some restaurant out in the country. And of course, he thought nobody would see him. Sure enough, somebody saw him. It was national news the next day. That's kind of what a coaching search is.
Yeah. All right, so let's get down to it. The names I'm hearing: Lane Kiffin, Eli Drinkwitz, Jeff Brom at Louisville. It's kind of this old typical thing, Scott, where you go to the lesser programs who have hot coaches and you say, oh, this will be an obvious choice. He would definitely want to leave Louisville, leave Missouri, leave Ole Miss to come to Florida or Florida State, right?
Yeah.
And my sense is it's not that way anymore. All these programs now have lots of money with rev share. They've got notoriety in the SEC, even Missouri. You're on TV in prime time every week. Ole Miss is the same thing. It's not like the old days where those are necessarily lesser jobs. Now, the Florida job is, I would say, one of the top 20 jobs in the nation. But how are you seeing this whole thing shake out?
Well, the landscape has changed drastically, like you just said, and. You go back, I heard what you were talking about, Tom Brady coming in here on the Lightning situation. But it's like you look at Urban Meyer. He's the last great Florida coach. And he was here 6 years. And he just got, burned out. So it does take special people to stay in this environment for much longer than 4 or 5 years. So, if you're a coach on the outside and, Florida shows interest like a Lane Kiffin. I mean, Lane Kiffin has it pretty good right now at Ole Miss. And he's got the resources he needs, but does he want that challenge, that ultimate challenge? Could he be the guy to come back to Florida and get the Gators back on that stage where the fan base wants them every year, where Meyer and Spurrier put them? And that's an answer that only Lane Kiffin knows at this point. Mm-hmm. So, it is. But you're right, as far as the competitive dynamics of college football. I mean, we're seeing more parity than we've ever seen before.
Yep.
And it goes back to the revenue sharing, the NIL era. Boosters are putting more money in this thing, I think, maybe than in the past because they're being relied on more, but they also have more input. So there's a lot of factors going on, guys. As far as this situation here, I mean, you're right. The name that everybody's talking about the most is Kiffin. And then after that, you got Drinkwitz and Brom, and you've heard – Rhett Lashley, and you're going to hear all kinds of names, James Franklin. I don't know where it's going. I know just from a public perception, I know Gator fans would be happy if Lane Kiffin was the next Florida coach. It would be probably the best mood I've seen Gator fans in since that national championship in 2008.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Scott, I've debated this on this show and other shows. Why would Lane Kiffin leave Ole Miss to go to Florida at this point? Like 3 or 4 years ago, I get it. It would be a more attractive job. But with what he's built at Ole Miss, I don't understand why he could be drawn to Gainesville at this point.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's just a personal desire on his part. What's he thinking? Like, is he okay? Maybe staying at Ole Miss, continuing what he's doing. I think you can win a national title at Ole Miss in today's landscape. But you still look at Florida as a signature brand in college football.
Sure.
If you win at Florida, you're winning in the toughest conference at one of the premier schools. And, I like this year, I just tweeted something yesterday about the Nielsen ratings, for college football this season. Florida is still in the top 10 on the most viewed programs because that's just the brand it carries. Even though they're 3-4 and struggling along and just fired their coach, it's still one of those brands that people nationally, oh, it's the Gators playing. So if you're a coach, it's kind of like selling NIL to a kid. If you're playing at Florida or Ohio State or Michigan, you're going to have more NIL opportunities than if you go to a mid-level school. It's like, if you coach at Florida and win, you're going to make more money than you're probably going to make at Ole Miss or Mississippi State. That's just the nature of the business.
Right.
So Tim Brando, longtime voice of college football, said the other day, and I quote, "The Gator fan base is toxic." I was like, yeah, you could say that about just about every fan base, especially when they're, I would say that about FSU as well. When you get to this point, where you've had great experiences for a long period of time, and then your fan base gets, I think, a little bit arrogant. The Gators haven't won an SEC title, in 17 years. It's been a while. Yeah. You take that 13-0 season out, you got, and I know that you don't, but for Florida State, it's been a lot more bad than good. Mm-hmm. So I think these fan bases have to understand this is a new world of college football now, and it's much more parity, and the years of the automatic 10-win seasons for the Blue Bloods are over. I'm not saying that Billy Napier shouldn't have been fired. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, or Mike Norvell, which he's going to be fired. It's just that I think expectations have to change a little bit for these coaches to have a chance to implement. Alex Golish is in year 3, and you're seeing things really, really change. What are your thoughts on that? Just as the environment around Gator football, is it toxic?
I don't consider it toxic. I like the word passionate, JP.
Yes.
It's a passionate fan base, and that's what makes all this matter in the first place. And everybody has their opinion, and the season hasn't gone right. I think what happened with the Napier era, it's just that, every time they took a step forward, they took a couple back. And it's just like, okay, they're tired of seeing that. So that's why you kind of have this mood around this search right now. And it's a one that I think everybody knows how important it is for Florida football, because everything you just said is accurate. I mean, they haven't won the SEC in 17 years. They haven't been to the college football playoff yet, and that started in 2014. In the bigger picture, I think fans, you're not going to win 10 or 11 games every year, but they also have to look at it on the flip side. You can lose 2 or 3 games, and if you're playing well at the end of the season, you still can get in there and accomplish the ultimate goal if the team's playing well and healthy and you're being coached well. So I think that it's just that you have to balance it. I think most people can get it, but there are that group that, hey, if the Gators aren't 11-0 or Florida State's not 11-0, they just don't care. They want to go fishing and complain. So
exactly,
there's always that, but it's a tough job, man. I mean, coaches, to me, they're overpaid in my view.
Oh,
but
God,
man,
yes.
they do have to put up with a lot of crap that I don't know if I could handle it for more than a couple of years.
I don't know.
Put up with more crap than elementary school teachers or middle
no, elementary school teachers, they should be the ones getting paid.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
That's right.
Yes.
Mrs. Johnson needs a $60 million buyout for teaching special needs for the past 20 years, not Jimbo Fisher or Mike Norvell. That's all I'm saying. All right, hey, let's have some fun with this. I'm going to throw some names out there, and then you give me a sense of whether the fan base is not Scott Carter talking. Yeah. This is the fan base, how the fan base would react. All right, we'll start at the top. Lane Kiffin.
They go over the moon with that one.
Okay.
Have Steve Spurrier introduce him at the press conference. It's going viral.
Both wearing visors. Yes, I like that. Eli Drinkwitz.
I think there's a mixed bag on Eli. I think a lot of Gator fans are not sold on him because they don't know a lot about him. And they just see this quirky little character on TV. I mean, he's got a lot of spur in him. He's definitely got a little attitude about him that you like. But I think from what I'm gathering, it's really a mixed bag right now in Eli Drinkwitz.
Okay. John Gruden. John Gruden. I
Well,
can coach the Gators.
what are you
Come on,
doing?
man?
Yeah.
Give me a shot.
I don't think you're even Gator fans. I don't think you're that serious about that happening.
Really?
Yeah, not from what I gather. I mean, I know his name's been bandied about. I think
Yeah.
we all know he wants to get back into coaching.
He wants that
But,
job.
At this point, I'm not heard anything or seeing anything
Okay.
that makes me think that's.
So you don't think the fans? I think the fans would go nuts over Gruden.
There would definitely be some fans excited about it. Don't get me wrong, but there was also going to be that fan base like this guy's out of touch with college football. He's past his prime, which that's just where we are.
All right, Alex Golish.
That's a name that they're familiar with because of what happened at the Swamp about 7 weeks ago. So he certainly earned a lot of respect from that win. I think it would be a little bit like Napier and looking at him like, okay, here we go again on a guy who is not proven at this level. And I think a lot of fans would have some reservations about that, just what a program is. Now, that doesn't mean that Alex Golish wouldn't do a great job, and he's going to get a really good job in the future. We know that.
Ooh, USF fans are mad at you for saying that. He's already got a good job.
Well, no, I'm not saying that.
Carter.
He's going to have opportunities to step up the ladder.
Yes, he is. And whether he goes or not, we'll see. Jimbo Fisher. That's a good one. That's a good one, buddy.
That's kind of weird. I just let
wait. I got a better one.
Okay.
Prime time. Coach Prime. I've heard people talk about Coach Prime coming to Florida.
That would be hilarious. Not going to happen, but it would be funny to see, just observe it from this perspective. Like, what's this? How's this going to go down?
Deion Sanders in orange and blue. I think him and FSU are not copacetic anymore. There's a rift there for sure. Created more by Deion. Yeah, that's not cool. All right, last one. Urban Meyer.
Well,
Urban Meyer.
Again, I don't think that's going to happen, but Urban obviously is one of the two greatest coaches in Florida history. He still has a special place among Gator fans, but not as special as Spurrier. There's still – it just seems like it's either a love or hate thing with Meyer, with the fan base, even after what he did. So, check him off the list.
Check him out. Okay, cross him off. So, any other long shots that we haven't mentioned?
Jay Gruden.
Jay Gruden.
No, I know you've seen Marcus Freeman's name out there. I don't know anything there. To me, it'd be a hard thing for Marcus Freeman to leave Notre Dame, in my opinion.
I do too.
Rhett Lashley's another name, the SMU coach. And, I'm always, when these things happen, instantly, you guys know how it works. There's always 3 or 4 names that are at the top of the list who seem like a reality. And we all know Kiffin's at the top of that list right now in this one. But I'm always wondering if there's somebody else out there that hasn't risen to the surface yet.
Yeah.
And we'll see as time goes by, because this is going to be an extended period before anything really happens as far as a coach get hired. So it's going to be fascinating to watch.
When do you think it happens? And the fact that, the lane is maybe involved in the college football playoff, that really throws a wrench of the timing into everything, doesn't it?
Yeah, if he's the guy, it certainly does. It adds some complex factors to it that you probably ideally wouldn't have. But if that is your guy and he wants the job, you just ride it out without any concern. If I'm making the move, if I know he's all in, I'll let him finish what he's got there and then get to work at Florida. So, but I think it's going to be several weeks before anything happens. Regardless, they'll just finish it out with Billy Gonzalez and see how these guys respond and go from there, man.
All right, so you're off this week, and then Florida, Georgia, in Jacksonville. Obviously, this Georgia team, this isn't the defense of old, that's for sure. How do you? I mean, we'll talk about it next week, but what do you sense in Billy Gonzalez? Is he going to change things materially offensively? We've seen some coaches come in this year and spark their programs. Yeah. So, what do you think happens with Billy Gonzalez?
I think he'll come in and spread the offense out some, like they did under Urban when he was here. I think they've got the skill position players to do that.
Indeed.
They've got the receivers. They got DJ Lagway, who's getting healthier by the day. And they're going to be the process is a little different. He's got Ryan O'Hare, the quarterback's coach, going to go up to the booth and call the plays into the Lagway. You got Steve Spurrier Jr. now working down on the field with the quarterback some. Russ Callaway is the offensive coordinator by title. Sounds like his role is more just to lead the collaboration. So it's kind of, right now from what Billy said, O'Hara's calling the plays because he's got the best communication with DJ. But he did say that, let's spread it out a little bit and let's see what we can do. So I do expect them to be more aggressive, maybe offensively, than they were under Billy. I'm curious to see what it looks like everybody else. And when you have a game like this, guys, Georgia's not going to have any film or anything of what they may do. So there's always a puncher's chance, and I don't think this Georgia team, while it's 6-1 ranked 5th, I don't think it's nearly the gap between Florida and Georgia. I don't think it's nearly as wide as it was 4 or 5 years ago.
I agree. Totally. So, could be a shocker. I thought I saw something in a headline that said Spurrier is working with Lagway. So this is junior, not senior?
Yeah, junior. He came on as an offensive analyst last offseason. So he's kind of been behind the scenes, but he's going to take a little bit more of a visible role with Billy taking over. And we'll see what that looks like. I think they're just trying to get a guy who knows some offense and add another voice to the equation now that Napier's gone.
All right.
He looks just like his dad, too, man. It's creepy looking at pictures of him.
Who's that?
Steve Spurrier Jr.
He looks just like his dad?
To me, he looks just like his dad. Yeah, it's crazy to me.
Yeah, they do have some similarity. We'll see. I don't really know him that well, but obviously when that came out this week, Gator fans got excited. Anytime the Spurrier name's mentioned, they still get excited.
Yeah, with all these people going gaga over Jimbo Fisher at Florida State. And I'm like, you people have short memories, like very, very short memories. We need some new blood for sure. Definitely at Florida State. But I think it's interesting, and I know it's not official, but I can tell you that FSU is looking for their next head coach. At the same time, Florida's looking for their head coach. Wow. And I think all these guys are represented by the same dude in Jimmy Sexton. What an incestuous, ridiculous situation. But all I know is that two guys are going to get really big buyouts that they don't deserve in this next contract. So we shall see. All right, Scotty. Follow him at Gator Scott and go to FloridaGators.com for all of your Gator information. Appreciate it, partner.
All right, guys. You all have a good one.
Yeah, have a great weekend. All right, well, we need to take a break. We'll come back on the other side, and we will get to we got Josh Queipo coming up. We'll get to all of your comments when we come back here. A lot of good stuff in the commentary section. Hey, we are brought to you by the Golden Diamond Source, where they're offering 40% off mounting for your new engagement ring. That'll save you some cash. So go get a ring you can design by yourself there. You can come up with whatever you want, design it right there. They have a great staff. They have a great, obviously their selection is second to none. And for the holidays, it's the best place to go because you zip in and you zip out. It's not like going to the mall where you got all the parking thing. It's right there, 3800 Olmerton Road. Great local company. They just raised another $250,000 for Hands Across the Bay, which is Julie Weintraub's charity, a fantastic charity, and Steve's, where they give money to battered women, abuse. It's done a great job helping out so many. I've been over to the charity there, and they have a whole store there where these ladies can come and get everything for their kids, for themselves. That's a tremendous, tremendous charity, Hands Across the Bay. And it's all at Golden Diamond Source. Great local company. So let's keep it local for the holidays. GoldenDiamond.com. Back in 3. Stay with us. The holidays are coming up, and the Golden Diamond Source wants to be your family jeweler. Discover the ultimate jewelry superstore with the largest selection of diamonds, engagement rings, and fine jewelry all under one roof. Don't wait any longer to find that one-of-a-kind perfect engagement ring for that special someone in your life. And as your relationship grows, so can your diamond with the Golden Diamond Source. Trade up at any time. You get 100% of its value when you come back to trade up. And why don't you get a head start on your holiday shopping? With the Golden Diamond Source's unbeatable low pricing and financing options, you can get 5 years, 0%, and make this holiday season truly memorable. The Golden Diamond Source takes pride in offering only natural diamonds formed over billions of years by the Earth's incredible forces. If it's real love, get a real diamond. Shop online anytime at goldendiamond.com or stop by their showroom and tell them JP sent you at 3800 Almaton Road, always online at goldendiamond.com. Welcome to Kingmakers, home of the JP Peterson Show studio and Tampa's premier business networking and social club for members only. By day, it's an exclusive, vibrant co-working space with a stylish conference room, focus rooms, a full production studio, and an in-house marketing team. And by night, Kingmakers transforms into a sports-centric social hub with a full sports bar, golf simulator, and exclusive events. For young entrepreneurs and seasoned professionals, it's the perfect place to work hard, play hard, and make big moves in Midtown Tampa. Close the deal, celebrate the win. Only at Kingmakers. Become a member today at kingmakerstampa.com. Your business, your club. JP here for the Jeeves Law Group and my man Scott Jeeves, who lives right here and has long been a highly respected member of our community. He's a proud sponsor of the Tampa Riverwalk. Jeeves Law Group is also a proud sponsor of our Grand Central District in St. Pete and has neighborhood events throughout the year. He has an office on Central Avenue in St. Pete and one on South Howard in Tampa. You can't get more local than that. So when you need an attorney, are you going to hire some huge firm that advertises all over the state or the one that supports your favorite sports show? It's the Jeeves Law Group. We're local, we're trusted, and we get results. For personal injury and personal attention, call us for a free case evaluation. That's 8889-JEEVES. That's 8889-JEEVES. With this record heat in Tampa Bay, you better have your AC unit running at peak efficiency. Third Generation Plumbing installs the best American standard AC units. Our split systems offer the highest efficiency available while reducing energy bills and maximizing comfort. That's why Third Generation Plumbing trusts American standard air conditioning, built to last, made to perform. Whether it's a new install or an emergency repair, our family-owned team brings 3 generations of trusted service to your home, now with the unmatched reliability of American Standard. Plumbing or cooling, we've got Tampa covered. Call Third Generation Plumbing today, 813-961-8024, or go to thirdgenerationplumbing.com. And we also do AC.
Ciao, Paolo Tini here, owner of Caffè Paradiso, voted number 3 People's Choice Award on Open Table. I want to thank all our loyal family of customers that have been enjoying our great traditional Italian dishes we make from scratch every day. It's a great family story we're proud of. Our family moved from Rimini, Italy in 1984. My dad, Caesar, started Donatello, and that's where I got the start in the restaurant business. I started Caffè Paradiso on South McDill in 1995, and we've been there ever since. From our traditional ossobuco, a veal slow roast for 4 hours, to our daily fresh catch, the Gruppo Paradiso, with a piccata sauce and lobster claw meat, homemade pasta like lasagna, farfalle salchicha, which is a bow tie pasta homemade with fresh sausage. Hold on a minute, JP's favorite.
I love it.
So come and have a glass of wine with me on South McDill. Get a reservation on Open Table and see all our 5-star reviews. Ciao, see you soon at Paradiso.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Third Generation Plumbing and American Standard Heating and Air Conditioning. They are your dynamic duo to make sure that your house is cool in the summer and toasty in these long winters that we have here in Tampa Bay. American Standard Heating and Cooling is the standard in air conditioning, most reliable, most efficient. Third Generation Plumbing, the best local company to put it in for you. So if you need maintenance, Third Generation Plumbing, they also do AC. Anything mechanical around your house, Third Generation Plumbing can handle it. So give them a call. Tell them JP sent you. Check out all their 5-star reviews at thirdgenerationplumbing.com. All right, Timmy, you said you had some thoughts on the NFC South.
I do.
You wanted to get into the ether here today?
Yeah, so I was a little piqued when you guys were talking. Is this a must-win game? I believe it was from the comments. Is this a must-win game for the Bucs? If you look at where the Bucs are right now, they're a game ahead of, good God, the Panthers. How is that even possible?
Right?
2 games ahead of the Falcones, and then there's that other team in the division. So, look, when you look at the schedules, how they match up, the Carolina Panthers are about to go on a massive losing streak. All right. They've got the Bills. They've got the Pack, go.
Ooh.
Then they've got the division game against the Saints. That's at home for the Panthers. See how that goes.
Mm-hmm.
Then they play at Atlanta.
Mm.
Then they play at San Francisco.
Mm.
And then they host the Rams before they have the Saints again in New Orleans. And then, of course, the Bucs, Seahawks, and Bucs again.
Yeah, 2 and 3 weeks at the end of the season.
To finish the season. Panthers are about to nosedive. All right. So let's not blow their season out of proportion here. Okay?
No confidence in the Fighting Canales?
No confidence in the Fighting Bryce Young.
Yeah, I've never thought he was going to be good. But
Me
they've beefed up their offensive line to help him out. They've beefed up their defensive line. They are formidable along the lines of scrimmage. And when you are that, you always have a fighting chance.
Well, and when you look at what they did to the Cowboys,
they
have potential, right? Bryce Young did not win that game for the Panthers. That was all Rico Dowdle. Dowdle's not even their starting running back.
He was mad. He wanted revenge.
And you know what? I love Rico's a good dude, man. I was happy for Rico with that. I didn't like the Cowboys loss, but I was happy for Rico in that game. Now, when you look at the team in the NFC South, that is the most, I'd say, threatening to the Bucs, the Fighting Falcons. They've got, unfortunately, this week, the Dolphins. That could get ugly. Then you've got the Patriots in New England. You've got the Colts at home before you face the Panthers. And then the Saints in consecutive weeks. You've got the Jets.
Meh.
And then you've got the Seahawks, the Bucs, the Cardinals, and the Rams before they face the Saints at home to end the season.
So what you're saying is the Bucs are a prohibitive favorite to win the NFC South again.
I am saying that I don't know if any of the games coming up in the rest of the schedule are must-win games for the Saints or for the Bucs, because I think they're going to run away with this thing in the second half of the season.
You think 10 wins gets it done? You think 10 wins gets it done?
Yes, easily.
Yes. I do not. I think you're right, but I think if you're the Bucs, you have a higher goal right now.
Absolutely.
And that's why I think you have to go out and make a move. I think you got to improve this team, and the 2 glaring weaknesses that they have defensively are inside linebacker and edge rusher. And I'm not saying you got to go get a Pro Bowler. If you can just get somebody who's a little above average at what those 2 spots that I think are going to be glaring weaknesses down the stretch, I think it's going to help you out immensely. I think offensively, this team's going to be fine when they continue to get players back. I think they're going to score points. It's defensively where I'm a little bit concerned. And I think your 2 weaknesses are pretty evident right now. And it's at spots where I think you can go get a guy that's going to improve you, because can you improve on Anthony Nelson, Major Nelson? Yes, you can. You can probably go find somebody. And Roger, you just twinkle your nose and get you an edge rusher. That's what we need. Thank you for those I Dream of Genie fans that are out there. One of my greatest memories. Barbara Eden.
Oh, mine too.
Oh.
But look, if you would have told me ahead of the season, before week 1, that you're going to be without your top 3 receivers for a good part of the season, and without your number 4 guy in Ibuka for a few games, and 4/5 of your offensive line, and you're sitting at 5-2.
So it's house money
to me, dude. I would be ecstatic with 10 wins in that scenario.
But given what's on the schedule ahead of you and the guys you got coming back, you should be better. You should be better than that. You have a really good shot at getting to 12 wins, which I think, I don't think that's the magic number for me. Now, you're going to probably need the tiebreaker with 12 wins. 13, I think, would get you the number 1 seed without fail. But, you don't have the tiebreaker against the Eagles and you don't have it against the Lions. But you do have it against 49ers. So, I mean, there's some good news. But I still think that's the goal. That should be your goal of the regular season. And then plow into the postseason, getting Mike Evans back. Yeah, I mean, that's where – now, listen, that's the scenario that I love to paint. Get to 6-2, get to your bye week, get Gedeke back, get Bucky back. I mean, missing Bucky has been wow. He's your engine.
It's been tough.
Everything go, man. He's just that spark. Every time you need something, when you're lagging a little bit, he breaks 2 tackles and he's off to the races for a chunk play.
And look, nothing against Rachaad White.
Yeah,
but
it's funny when you go look at the tape last week. Rachaad was half a step from breaking a big one, I think 3 times.
Yeah, Bucky breaks those.
But Bucky probably breaks those.
Yeah.
So it's just that little bit. So you get all these guys back, get Gedeke back, which I think is going to be huge. Solidify that right guard spot, which right now is not solidified. Michael Jordan did not play well. Who's going to man that spot? Somebody's got to step up. Like everybody's got issues, right? The Bucs don't have as many as most teams do. And they've already banked 5 wins. So that's why this win, like to the commenter's point, it's not a must win, but they're all critical. But this just kind of feels like, let's go out and, be intense, make it a backyard brawl like Baker's trying to do, which I think is brilliant, and just win this game and get to 6-2, get to your bye week. And then you can get a lot of good feeling going. You're going to get a lot of good stuff going in this second half and you could roll, or you could crumble this week, lose this week, go into a bye week, and then you're down the hole for 2 weeks. Then I think you definitely got to make a move to get some energy back in this team. But again, get to the bye week. If you can go add an edge rusher and an inside linebacker, damn. I mean, and then other teams might be making these same moves. So you got to fight fire with fire. You have a great opportunity, a great window here to do something special. And if I'm Jason Light, I seize on it. And I'll give away some draft picks to make a move here this year. Because I think
win now.
If not now, when?
And by the way, one of the teams that coming into the season in the NFC that we thought they'd be challenging for in the playoffs, the Minnesota Vikings. Good God, are you scared of them after last night?
No.
37-10 to the Chargers. By the way, those are some badass Chargers uniforms. I don't know if you saw
those are the best. Those are
My
the best
days, man. And Chuck Muncie and Charlie Joyner,
powder blue,
Kellen Winslow,
the lightning bolt. Oh my God!
Well, it was the Navy Blues last night.
Yeah,
they wore the old early.
Yeah.
The Navy Blues. Yeah,
those ones. Yeah.
But I mean, as well as Carson Wentz is filled in, I think we saw Carson Wentz last night. We saw who he is, and he didn't play horribly, but he cannot carry a team to a victory.
No,
he can drive the bus for you.
And suddenly the Chargers look better, too.
Chargers look real good.
All right, let's take another quick break. When we come back, Josh Queipo from the Pewter Report and I will break down the Bucs Saints and what we learned from Bucs Lions as well. So very interesting conversation, a little tidbit on an offensive line move that maybe we'd like to see. We are brought to you by the great folks at Cafe Paradiso. Paulo is my man over there, Paulo Dini. Go get you a great meal this weekend. Get you, and you say, I want to go out for a meal tonight or this weekend. Cafe Paradiso. Love traditional Italian, a nice glass of red wine, that Italian red wine. They'll pick you out a nice one for you. Great service. They've been doing it for 30 years over there plus, and the food is fantastic, and the service and the atmosphere unmatched. That's why they're number 3 on the Open Table list of folks on Open Table. So get that reservation and tell them JP sent you. Back in 3. JP here for Riveters, the official sports bar and grill of the JP Peterson Show. We're located just south of Ray J and Steinbrenner Field, so it's a great pre- and post-game spot, and the happy hour is amazing. Monday through Friday, 3 to 7. Check out these specials. $3 Bud Light drafts, $4 domestic bottles, $5 wells, $6 premium wells, $6 cocktails like margaritas. That's unheard of. And the Riveters food is freshly made daily. No freezers. Happy hour food specials include $3.50 tacos and barbecue sliders. $6 you get edamame or chips with the beer cheese, which is amazing. $8 buffalo chicken dip, my favorite. The truffle fries, chili cheese fries, also $8 at happy hour. As well as other specials throughout the week, including Taco Tuesdays, you get $3 tacos, and Wing Wednesdays, 7 o'clock to 1 a.m. in the morning, you get our amazing wings, 5 for $5 and $5 wells and wines. That's a good Wednesday night. So if you're tired of the preppy, overpriced generic sports bars, come see the amazing, friendly bartenders and staff at Riveters, where customer service really matters. Riveters, just south of where the Rays and Bucs play. We'll see you there. Experience the art of driving at Genesis of Tampa, where luxury meets innovation and every detail is crafted for you. From the bold G70 to the refined GV80, Genesis delivers power, elegance, and technology years ahead of its time. Book service online, and our Genesis Experience Advisors will pick you up and drop off your vehicle. If available, you can enjoy a courtesy car while yours gets a complimentary interior vacuum plus a generous offer for your trade. Every new Genesis comes with the Miracle Advantage Plan, 10 years or 250,000 miles of powertrain warranty and 4 years of complimentary maintenance. Visit us at 801 East Bears Avenue or online at genesisoftampa.com. Genesis of Tampa, luxury redefined. Italiano Insurance would like to congratulate the Bucs on their 50th anniversary season. And you know what? We've been here for every season and then some, over 60 years in business. We've seen some smart coaches with great game plans, but if you don't have flood insurance or business insurance, that's a terrible game plan. That could ruin you financially. You don't want to take that L. So call 813-877-7799 and let their friendly agents quarterback your insurance and save you big money. Italiano also sponsors our FSU report every week, so go Noles. 813-877-7799 or go to italianoinsurance.com. JP here for my friend Jason Fawcett, owner of On-Site Construction. They do residential and commercial renovations and new construction. As a leading home builder and general contractor, On-Site Construction prides itself on transforming homes through superior craftsmanship, dedication to client vision, and an unmatched commitment to quality and service. It's about building relationships. We take the time to understand our clients' needs, preferences, and budgets so that we can deliver a personalized experience tailored to their unique vision. From the initial designs to the final touches, we're there every step of the way, ensuring that the end result mirrors your vision. Here are some testimonials from happy customers. G. Gibson says, no hidden costs, very honest, reliable, creative, and communicates well. Reasonable and fair with their pricing, no hidden costs. C. Smith said, did not disappoint. I'm very happy with the work. This company really cares and will take care of it. So if you're just thinking about building or renovating, give us a call and let's see what's possible. 813-579-5789 or check out our website at onsiteconstructionfl.com. Are you having legal issues with a business partner or other legal business issues? The attorneys at Walters, Levine & DeGrave can help. Call 800-616-0384 for a free consultation. At Walters, Levine & DeGrave, we've redefined what a law firm can be with top-tier attorneys, personal service, and 26 years of success. From business law to civil litigation, we deliver smart, client-focused solutions. Walters, Levine & DeGrave recently won a $6.4 million jury verdict from a large real estate developer, and they can win for you too. Walters, Levine & DeGrave. Let's solve it together. Not attorney spokesman. For a free consultation, call 800-616-0384 or go to walterslevine.com. Offices Tampa, Sarasota.
Let's go.
Right now, back to the show on FanStream Sports.
All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by Delete Me. Delete Me makes it easy and quick and safe to remove your personal data online at a time when surveillance and data breaches are common enough to make everyone vulnerable. Yes, all those crazy messages you're getting, that's because your number is on the dark web. The New York Times Wirecutter has named Delete Me their top pick for data removal services. So if your information is out there, get it taken down, and Delete Me can help. Take control of your data and keep your private life private by signing up for Delete Me now at a special discount for our listeners. Get 20% off your Delete Me plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/hit and use the promo code HIT at the checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/hit, enter code HIT at checkout. Joindeleteme.com/hit, code HIT. 20% off. Oh, I see it all over Twitter. Lane Kiffin has been offered $13.5 million a year to join the Florida Gators.
Seems like too much.
Is that enough? And an 8-year buyout at 85%. That's the going rate. So for all of you people screaming about Michael Alford giving Mike Norvell an 8-year contract.
Yikes.
They have no leverage, folks, in case you didn't know. If you want a new football coach, they name the terms. If you want to keep your football coach after a 13-0 season, they name the terms. You say, oh, no, we don't want to do an 8-year deal. Okay, he's going to Alabama. Wait. Yeah, that's how it works. That's how Sexton drives this thing. All right, before we get to Josh Queipo, did you see the fight last night between Rempe and Ryan Reeves?
I did not.
Oh, my Lord. Hearns Hagler, baby. Just think Hearns Hagler. It's one of the greatest fights I've seen in the NHL. I want to see our boy Curtis Douglas get in there with one of these guys.
Oh, my gosh.
So, Reeves is like 6'2", and the other dude, Rempe, is 6'8" or 6'7". Yeah. And he more than held his own. Reeves got in a couple of rights that staggered him. So here's Ryan Reeves last night on how this all went down.
Well, he asked me to go off the draw, and I said I was going to go run somebody first, and then it happened immediately. So,
what can you say about a guy that size? Looks like you guys both took some shots. Just walk us through that fight in that situation. You guys are measuring each other up for a while. What goes through your mind?
Good Lord.
Fight starts there?
Well, I can't tell you all my tricks, otherwise everybody's going to know. I mean, yeah, he's a big boy, and you have to fight guys like that a little bit differently. I've seen him fight, so I know what he's good at, what his weaknesses are. So, yeah, it was good tilt.
Was there anything in warm-up? Because I saw you talking to Panarin a little bit.
He came up to me when I was talking to Panarin and said, "You want one?" I said, "Yeah, maybe."
I love it when it's planned.
You want to go off the draw? I got to go run somebody first. I'll be right back. That's my favorite part. Yeah, sure. I got to go run somebody first. I'll be right back. And then that happened quick, so we went.
And I love that these guys.
That's old school hockey, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
I love that these guys that are really have enforcers anymore, but guys that like to fight. I love that they watch film on the guys that they might go fight, just like a boxer would do, right? Or an ultimate fighter or whatever. That you got to know where his strengths and weaknesses are when you fight him. I feel like back in the day, you just went. You didn't know anything about the guy, right? You just went.
Just went.
But these guys are strategic now.
Yeah.
It's great.
Well, it's like Douglas's fight, the first drop of the gloves. His first game. They went right to it. Him and the guy from Ottawa. It was like, they're both fighters. I'm like, yeah, you want to go? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Let's go. My first shift, I'm going to the penalty box. I'm like, bring back gratuitous violence in the NHL. I'm all for it. Let's go. We have to normalize that.
The NHL is better when there's fighting.
It is. It just is.
What I love about minor league hockey.
And I think it is returning. I think just one of the reasons that the Lightning have that guy on their roster is what it is.
We need more Matthew Barnabys in the league. Brent Severance.
Here. Sergio Biltris says Lightning have lots of issues. Michael LaRue says, I've always thought Ryan McDonough was the best choice for captain. Rick says that they need to talk to Frank Thomas. But for the testosterone
levels? Yeah.
What's this what we're talking about?
Go talk to Doug Flutie.
Jeremy Lowe says, good morning, fellas. I plan on going to the Lightning game tomorrow. Better win or else. Well, there we go. That's what we need.
By the way, did you see that Frank Thomas Jr. just committed to Auburn?
Oh, shocking development.
And he's already being called the Little Hurt.
Is he a baseball player or football player?
Baseball.
Okay. So Frank played both up until his Auburn did. Did he ever
really
play football
good at football
Auburn?
Too?
Yeah, I don't think he ever did. Smart move though. Yeezy says Cooch needs to apologize to the team after last night. Seems like he doesn't care anymore. He cares. He cares. Yeah. All right. Daniel Rivera said, I watched the Netflix series, and I must tell you, it was interesting about the Cowboys. Oh, I've not watched it. Thomas
I will
says,
tell you that it was 100% the most accurate depiction of all of the stuff that happened back in the day, because there's been others that were not. I was there. That was 100% accurate.
How about that? Thomas Casper says, the FBI indictment alleges that a defendant leveraged his personal relationship, an unnamed magic starter, identified only as player 2, to learn about the plan. Wow. Well, there's going to be a lot of juicy stories coming out of this. Yeah.
Probably a movie and a book too, right?
Yeah, but let's blame Trump. All right, let's check in.
He's coming, JP.
He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. Oh my God.
Idiots.
Let's listen into our conversation yesterday. Josh Queipo and I got together from the Pewter Report to, as we do each and every week, to review the film and look ahead to the upcoming opponent. So here is our Buccaneers Blitz with Josh Queipo, brought to you by the great folks at Walter, Levine, and DeGrave. Here we go. All right, welcome into another edition of JP and Josh Break Down the Buccaneers. We have some breaking news, which is not good. What happened, Josh? What happened? Your old Twitter is gone.
Old Twitter is gone, and a couple people helped me figure out. I clicked a link, man. I clicked the link from a source that had been somebody that I knew who apparently got hacked themselves. You clicked the link and didn't have the 2-factor authentication on. I lost my Twitter account, so anybody who's been following me had to get a new one because unfortunately Twitter or X, I've tried working with them, but the emails keep saying they can't verify that I am me. So,
dude, that's I had mine hacked and taken away. Oddly enough, like 2 months before the Rays vote for the stadium. Somebody bogusly reported me. I wonder who that could have been. But anyway, it's a bitch, and now you got to rebuild it. So everybody watching this, at Josh Queipo, QUIPO _NFL.
QUEIPO.
QEIPO. It'll say it right underneath us as we're talking.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into this. And sorry for your luck. That sucks, bro.
I appreciate it.
We'll build it back up for you. So first take on Bucs Lions. What did we learn from this? I don't even call it a debacle. It wasn't the Bucs' best game. I thought there was a lot of good football in there. They gave up some big plays that kind of skewed things, but definitely something we can learn from this. A lot of things. What was your overview?
Yeah, on offense, I think the Lions threw something out that the Bucs didn't expect, which was even with their cornerbacks 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, they weren't afraid to punch the Bucs receivers in the mouth and say, we're going to play man coverage, and you're going to have to beat us one-on-one. And they played some really good snaps. Those defensive backs, you take your hat off to that defense and that secondary. And, it's kind of 3 phases. I think Baker was a little shaky to begin with, and his accuracy for the most part all night was off. Then when he was accurate, the receivers weren't beating the man coverage. And then when both of those things might have happened, the offensive line, especially in the fourth quarter, really just you saw that the lack of depth there kind of take over on that right side of the line from Graham Barton over.
Yeah, Graham was not good.
Bredesen and Tristan, I think, had solid games, but Barton a few weeks ago, he had trouble picking up stunts and blitzes, and this week, I think Aleem McNeil just kind of exposed him a little bit. So Michael Jordan, the transition from left to right wasn't the smoothest for his first week back, and Charlie Heck was Charlie Heck. So I'm ready for Chukwuma. Like you and I remember we had the conversation at the beginning of the season. You're like, do you think he could factor in this year? And I went, no, I'm fully on board, JP.
Yeah, it can't be worse. And Charlie's trying. He's slow, man. He's not a good athlete. It's not good.
You know what? He had one fantastic rep. He sprung the touchdown. he sprung the touchdown for Tez.
He did. He did.
Got out in front, and he absolutely steamrolled the DB. But unfortunately, you don't play one snap again. You play 60 some odd, and the rest of them were not fantastic. So it's tough to put up points when when you look at all three of those phases, and when one wasn't, when two were working, the third wasn't. When the other two were working, the second wasn't, so on and so forth. And K-Dot, and God love him, the guy was playing against the Lions and the refs.
Yeah, I don't even want to get into officiating. We talked about it all week long. It's just never been worse in the NFL. And that whole debacle of his, the call, the challenge, the re-challenge, the call. I mean, it was just poorly officiated, and they got it wrong. In my opinion, they still got it wrong. So I will say the other thing, and I asked Baker about this, because I think it's something that we'll see moving forward. If somebody said, yeah, what quarterbacks would you use a spy on that you'd have to use a spy on? Oh, Lamar, Josh Allen, Mahomes, Baker Mayfield. No, not Baker.
Detroit did it.
They did it. And I think it was the biggest reason that he struggled, because he loves moving up to the right in that little space, and that's but they did such a great job of fundamentally rushing him and keeping him in and not creating that space where they could go up and out. He had to come out the back. And when he did, Barnes was waiting for him right there, and it really disrupted him. And I think I think anybody who looks at that tape is going to go, oh, we need to spy Baker Mayfield, because he's that guy. He makes so many plays getting out of the pocket. So they're going to have to adjust to that. I think they're going to see that against the Saints. Would you agree?
I would. And you got two guys who can do it at a pretty high level, in Pete Werner and Marco Davis. So then the last take I'll have from that game, and it's just very high level. They are 178-yard Jahmyr Gibbs run off of that being a really, really good defensive game. Yep. Holding Detroit to 24 points. And 7 of those came on that one inside zone. It was a busted run fit. And good on.
I thought Roberts got held.
He got doubled to the moon on that one. It was a tough rep for all of them. And Roberts showed up well as a pass rusher. Like, he continues to impress me in that regard. He's different than Kalijah Kancey, and they have to do things differently because of him, because he doesn't win in the same ways. But he got exposed there on that run. I mean, Penei Sewell and what was it? Tate Ratledge, they got on him and they drove him yards and yards off and gave Gibbs all the room in the world. But you take that run out of the game, and you can't. It happened, right?
Right.
Still holding Detroit to 24 points, what they did in the second half overall, keeping the offense in the game. I think we continue to see these flashes. Eventually, they're going to put it together for 4 quarters. You're going to see what this defense really can be.
You just mentioned Elijah Roberts. I hadn't really thought about this, but he played outside at SMU. And with Reddick out, is there any thought to – because I know you need him inside, but you got Logan Hall as well. Is there any thought to moving him outside?
Yeah, the difficult thing there is Todd loves to stunt, and that's just not really Roberts' game.
And drop.
Well, even outside of that, like, what makes Reddick and Diaby give this defense such a higher ceiling is the way they complement each other. And this goes back to Kancey and Vea being in there as well, is Reddick wins the high side on the arc, and he's that kind of swooper. And then Diaby punches the pocket, just kind of winning straight through the other tackle's face. And so it condenses the pocket in a way where the quarterback he's feeling Diaby come, so he wants to get back and out on the other side. And Reddick's like, you can't do that. And then you've got the pocket compression from the inside. If you've got Roberts, he's not going to win that high side. So him and Diaby are coming in from similar angles, and you saw this a lot last year. Then the quarterback just literally just comes out the backside and rolls around. Yeah. So I've thought about it myself. I'm right there with you in terms of, like, how can they get creative with this? And I just don't know if it adds the dimension that they need. They need somebody who can just get to that high side. Yeah. And, as bad as he's been, maybe Braswell, I would love to see Mo Kamara. I was pretty high on Kamara. I had actually had him right behind Braswell on my draft evaluations a couple years ago with the two of them. I had Braswell, I think, like 12th or 13th, and Kamara one spot behind him. So I'd love to see Kamara get a few snaps on Sunday and see what he can do.
Interesting. Yeah, because
it's just that the Saints' offensive line isn't that good.
Yeah, and Larry Foote said today that this is going to be an opportunity for Braswell, and he's already talking to him about it. Like, this is your chance. I mean, we've seen a lot of Braswell, and if he was any good and had a variety of moves and was a great pass rusher, we'd have seen it by now. We ain't seen it. I mean, what are they expecting to see?
Yeah, towards the end of last year, I started to get higher on him. I thought there was something being developed there, and it just didn't level up this year. At his best, he's a guy who can punch a tackle and then find a way inside. Not unlike Diaby. He's just not as great of at it as Diaby is. And I think instinctually, he just has a trouble finding the ball and understanding what's happening around him. You see that kind of in his run defenses.
It plays slow.
Yeah. Yeah. And he gets cracked all the time. And you should see these cracks coming. And he just doesn't. So, you hope that something's there. He hasn't played nearly enough for us to say that the book is completely out on him.
Yeah.
However, I'm just not that keen on there being anything there.
Yeah. I don't think you can expect a whole lot. All right. So as we look at this matchup with the Saints, and I've kind of said this is kind of an elite check game. If the Bucs are an elite team, they take care of business this week. And I still think that the jury's out on that. I think they can be, but it's just been so choppy with all these injuries. How do you get to consistent play? And I thought Baker was masterful this week when he kind of, stoked the fires of the rivalry, because, this is a game that the Bucs could be looking at the bye week and like, oh, it's the Saints, and, we'll get through this one. We'll get the W. And if you go into it like that, you're going to get your ass kicked because the Saints are coming. So a good way to raise everybody's level is to call them out, and Baker did that. Yeah, we hate the Saints. They play dirty. Let's go. And so, because now your guys have to back you, and they're going to back you. Your boys, they'll do anything for Baker. So now he's like, boys, we got to go. It's going to be a street fight. Don't think of anything else. So I think it was brilliant, kind of masterful by him to do that and call him out, stoke the rivalry because if both teams play at a certain intensity level, the Bucs are a better team. The only way they lose this game is if the Saints get to another level and you can't keep up. That happens in the NFL every week. Home crowd, division rival especially. So I thought that was masterful by Baker. I think this is a big mindset game for the Bucs. They're the better team, but if they go in there sleepwalking, they're going to get their ass kicked.
Yeah, I think you bring up some really great points because the Saints may be, from a record perspective, one of the worst teams in the NFL, but you turn on the tape, you'd be hard pressed to find a team that doesn't fight as hard as they do. Yeah. Every single one of their players, and you just think about the vibes. Like they're 1-6, but everything coming out of New Orleans is like, hey, we're on a positive trajectory. Like Spencer Rattler's strung together some really good games this last week, notwithstanding. The defense is playing really hard. They've got some young players who are taking a step forward. So the Bucs cannot rest on their laurels with this team, especially a division rival who has historically played them well. And then to top it all off, like for that offense, for Josh Grizzard, like you can't look at any of your past games against them because it's a completely different defense. With a new defensive coordinator, they're playing zone like 80% of the time. This is a team that used to play a ton of man coverage. So you've got less tape to work off of. You've got a team that really wants to knock you off that pedestal. They've got to take this team seriously.
Yeah. Injury-wise, no Godwin, no Bucky, no Gedeke, no Reddick. McCoy, their center, it looks like he is out. Kamara is on the injury list, but he'll probably play. He's my biggest worry. Running back on our linebackers. We saw it last week with Jamar Gibbs. That's the pass in the flat. They called it right at the right times, caught the Bucs in blitzes, big chunk plays. Saints will be looking to get Kamara probably 5 to 8 touches in the pass game, I'm imagining. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, the Bucs are one of the worst teams at defending targets coming out of the backfield, and I'm trying to pull it up right now. They are exactly 32nd in the league.
I said we don't need the numbers, bro. We've seen it.
That's Servassier Dennis territory, right? So
yeah.
Jameer Gibbs, he got exposed by Bijan Robinson. Kamara is somebody who can absolutely expose Dennis. So they're going to have to figure out how do we account for Kamara. And I think that you go back to the 49ers game, right? They did a good job of keeping Christian McCaffrey largely in check. So that requires them to flood the underneath zones, make sure that he's always got somebody to each side so that he can't really break ankles without getting somebody else on him. And that's going to be your game plan there. And then in terms of what happens at the second and third level, if we bust one coverage and allow a big gain, that's okay, because if we stop Kamara, we feel pretty good about this, and we can get to Rattler because, again, the offensive line for the Saints is not that great, and the Bucs still do have Vita Vea. They still have Yaya who's coming on. Bowles can create pressure for Rattler, and he's not one who can diagnose blitzes at a high level, and so you can create and manufacture some pressure this week until hopefully getting Reddick back in a couple weeks after the bye.
All right. I think the Bucs are 5.5-point favorites in this one. I would not bet it if I were you folks. Divisional game, 46.5 is the total. I'm going to stay away from those two numbers this week. I think it's a hard call, just because of the injuries and what I expect to be a great effort by the Saints. So I think it's going to be a hell of a football game. It's going to be physical, and I think we're going to have a couple, pushing and shoving matches. How do you see this one?
Yeah, I've got it 24-16 Bucs. So I guess that would be the under. If I were
under. Yeah, that's Bucs in the under. I'd say 23-20 Bucs. So it might be Saints in the number and an under. But I think it's going to be a good game. It's going to be fun. 4:00. Josh, tell everybody what the new Twitter is again.
Yeah, new Twitter, Josh Queipo, Queipo spelled Queipo, just like it sounds, right? _NFL.
All right, partner. We'll catch up with you next week. Have a great weekend.
Thanks, JP.
We're back.
And we're back. Got a special guest here. See if we there's our camera's working. The Big O is back as well. The Big O is back.
JP.
There he is. What's up, partner?
I'm good, man. Listen, happy World Series. Anytime this time of the year is kind of like Christmas to those that love baseball and love great competition. And this is it, bro. So I'm excited about this series. At first, I'm going to be honest with you, I kind of wanted the Raleigh Shohei matchup, similar to the Judge.
Me too.
Shohei, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Jamón, ¿qué pasa, Jamón?
Yeah, ¿qué pasa?
How you doing, Timmy? ¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien.
So, I kind of wanted that. I felt, and I, that I had, picked Seattle to go
many months far.
Ago. Yeah. But then now I'm looking at it objectively, and I think it's even cooler that it's Toronto, and you got East-West. So you cover that.
Yeah.
The other one would have been West-West.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you've got the East-West, this nice little deal. And you also have a Toronto team that is representing the whole country of Canada.
except Montreal, right, Timmy?
No, nobody in Quebec is rooting for the Blue Jays.
Explain that one.
Did you know that?
Is that because they just
they're rivals. It's just like a Habs fan cheering for the Maple Leafs. It ain't gonna happen.
Yeah, but it's not the Canadians, and it's not like the Maple Leafs made it and the Canadians didn't. They don't have a team.
That's true.
But yes, they do. The Expos. Don't you ever forget it.
Oh, Nelly.
Don't you ever forget it.
Don't
you ever forget it.
Washington Nationals.
The Quebecians.
Yeah.
They just stole that team from them.
Stole it.
Yeah.
That is true.
And trust
That
me,
is
the
true.
people of Quebec still follow the Washington Nationals.
How about that? How about that?
The diehards, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not the entire, but it's most of Canada.
Most of Canada.
And our boy Bo Bichette is going to be back.
Bo Bichette
Lakewood's
is back.
finest.
Lakewood's finest. Dante's finest. And he's obviously still, I think he's going to game it. Doesn't sound, from hearing him talk in a couple of interviews, that he's anywhere near 90 to 100%. I think he's probably at 80. And he says he's going to give it a go.
Was it the knee?
The knee.
You got a knee?
Yeah, he's got a knee deal. So obviously, in order to not make him move as much, which, shortstops have to move a lot more than a second base, he'll probably be playing second base. The key with that is going to be he hasn't hit at the major league level for almost 2 months, September 6th. That's a long time. If you want to talk about things, with layoffs, because obviously another topical thing is the long layoff. The Dodgers haven't played since last Friday. And for baseball, it's different than football, as many know, different than basketball, different than hockey, who welcome 3, 4, 5, 7 days off.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Baseball, we're built differently, and we really, one day is enough. Honestly, 2 or 3 days is more than enough.
Starts eroding your talent or your timing.
So it's going to be interesting. Now you do have way more scientific, or not scientific, but technology now with the trajectory machine that literally, you could take BP and it's eerily the pitcher that you're facing at the major league level.
Yeah.
With these trajectory machines that every team has 1 or 2.
What are they? Are they? Is this virtual reality?
No, it's not virtual reality, but it's kind of like a virtual reality. So, the screen actually shows you the actual pitcher that's on the mound. So you see everything
he's got coming at
everything he's got coming at you. And even where he releases the ball is moved to where his release point is.
Wow.
And the AI version of it can actually duplicate the spin rate, how his slider breaks, and everything when you're facing it is like what that guy throws. So yeah, that's been in the last couple of years, and
wow,
and teams are just jonesing up to that. Have been the Dodgers probably, I'm sure, have been using that with this layoff. The Blue Jays, I'm sure, because of a guy like Blake Snell that they haven't seen.
Yeah,
it's different when you know.
Well, him and Glasnow both are so tall that they're tough guys to pick the ball, all that stuff.
Well, it's interesting. We'll talk about this, when we're done
on the Big O show coming up at 12:30. By the way, Big O show.
But I will tell you something that's interesting, because Yosavage is an interesting guy because of that. Because of the fact that not only have they not seen, you've seen how he kind of dominated some of the Yankees and some other, the other series, even Seattle didn't really, they touched him up a little bit. One of the reasons is because he's a rarity that he releases the ball from up top. He's not your normal release is here, maybe here. That's kind of that's that 6-inch angle that, again, we're creatures of habit as hitters. So when you're up here,
straight over the top,
whole different, it just changes your whole dynamics of how you're picking up a baseball. Not to mention he's got an incredible fork, a split, and a really explosive fastball. So that's going to be an interesting topic. So there's a lot of nuances to this series that are making it exciting. The countries, pitting against each other. You got Trump kind of saying stuff about Canada already. so he comes into the mix.
Attaboy.
In this
rile him up.
You rile him up.
Nobody
already.
riles up Canada more than the Orange Man.
More than the Donald. So you're going to have a whole country wanting to beat America.
Yeah. Awesome.
You can't get much more Americana as far as.
Now I got to root for the Dodgers.
That's what I'm saying. Now you got to root for the Dodgers.
Go USA.
I'm all right. Listen, look at what I'm wearing here.
All right. All right. And of course they are division rivals. So yeah, screw the Blue Jays. Screw the Blue Jays.
There it is.
Let's go USA. USA. All right. All that and more coming up on the Big O show at 12:30. So we'll be going live. All you guys want to jump in the comments, please come join us from 12:30 to 1:30 as we set up the World Series. We'll talk a little Rays baseball as well. I think we have a site. I'm zeroing in. I got information. So join us for that. Join us for that.
Is
Thank
it
you guys for
Montreal?
joining us. It's not in Montreal. No,
Okay, good.
And it's not. And it's not in Texas, buddy.
Sternberg is not coming back. to
St.
Montreal gig. Get out of here. All right. Have a great weekend, everybody. We'll talk to you on Monday. Big O show coming up at 12:30.
Timmy, how you doing?